The 2008 D. John Quincy Adams $1 coin is one of the presidential $1 coins that carries with it not only history and design significance, but also a fascinating world of errors that makes certain examples extremely valuable to collectors. When the United States Mint launched the presidential $1 coin program in 2007, the idea was to honor each former U.S. president in order of service by featuring their portraits on golden color coins. The 2008 D issue depicting John Quincy Adams, America's sixth president, was part of this series. It may look like a modern, ordinary dollar coin at first glance, but the truth is that error coins from this year and this design have captured the attention of numismatists and auction houses for more than a decade. Some of these errors can push the value of what is technically just a $1 coin into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. To understand the significance of the 2008 D. John Quincy Adams dollar, let's first set the stage. This series was struck on golden manganese brass-clad planchets, giving the coins a distinctive golden hue that was meant to stand out from the silver-colored quarters and dimes. The obverse features John Quincy Adams in a bold portrait, his name inscribed above, and his term in office from 1825 to 1829. On the reverse is the striking Statue of Liberty design created by Don Everhart, with the inscriptions United States of America and $1. These coins also had a new and unique feature that set them apart from other modern U.S. coinage: edge lettering. Instead of placing the mottos "In God We Trust," "E Pluribus Unum," the year, and the mint mark on the obverse or reverse, the mint inscribed them along the coin's edge using a special edging process. This experimental approach, however, opened the door for one of the most famous categories of modern U.S. minting errors. The edge lettering mistakes are the errors that define the presidential $1 coin series, and the 2008 D. John Quincy Adams issue is no exception. Some coins were struck without edge lettering at all, leading to what collectors call missing edge lettering errors. This type of mistake means the coin completely lacks the inscriptions, which makes it stand out immediately once compared with a normal dollar from the same series. These missing edge lettering coins became a sensation among collectors, with some examples selling for hundreds of dollars soon after discovery. But the errors didn't stop there. Others have been found with doubled edge lettering, where the inscriptions were impressed into the edge twice, either overlapping or slightly rotated. The result is a bizarre, almost shadowed effect where the words appear duplicated. These errors are dramatic and highly prized by collectors, with many selling for $500 or more depending on the clarity of the doubling. Another major error type is the inverted edge lettering variety. Normally, the edge lettering runs upright in a consistent direction when the coin's obverse is facing up. But with these errors, the edge inscriptions appear upside down, or what collectors call inverted. This wasn't considered a minting error by the mint, more of an orientation issue, but collectors treat it as a desirable variety, and it has created a strong secondary market. Beyond the famous edge lettering errors, the 2008 D. John Quincy Adams dollar has also appeared with dramatic striking mistakes. Off-center strikes, where the planchet was misaligned in the press and only part of the design was impressed, can cause Susan's portrait or Lady Liberty's figure to be partially missing. These off-center errors are rare for dollar coins, and when the date or lettering is still visible, they can easily sell for $1,000 or more at auction. The double strike errors are another highly collectible mistake. These coins show evidence of being struck more than once, with the designs overlapping in a distorted, ghostly way. On the John Quincy Adams dollar, this might look like a second Liberty torch shadowing the first or a doubled portrait of Adams himself. Double strike errors often capture intense bidding wars, with prices ranging from $800 to several $1,000s depending on severity. Wrong planchet errors also exist for these coins, and they are among the most dramatic. This occurs when the design for the John Quincy Adams dollar was accidentally struck on a planchet mint for another denomination, like a quarter or even a foreign coin planchet. A John Quincy Adams portrait on a smaller silver-colored quarter-sized blank, for example, creates a coin that looks surreal and immediately valuable. These types of wrong planchet strikes have sold for several $1,000s, making them a holy grail for collectors of modern era coins. Clip planchet errors add another layer of rarity. These coins are missing a curved section, almost as if a bite had been taken out of the edge. While relatively minor compared to double strikes or wrong planchets, clip planchet errors are still exciting finds and often sell for $150 to $400 depending on size and location of the clip. Even more fascinating are double denomination errors, where the coin was struck once as a different denomination and then struck again with the John Quincy Adams dollar design. These are among the rarest minting blunders and often result in coins showing details from both designs. For instance, a John Quincy Adams portrait on top of a quarters Washington bust would create a mind-bending collectible worth thousands of dollars. Auction records help us see how valuable these coins can become. At Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, examples of missing edge lettering 2008 D. John Quincy Adams dollars have sold for $500 to $1,200 depending on grade. Doubled edge lettering errors have exceeded $1,000 in high mint state condition. Off-center strikes and double strikes, when certified by grading services like NGC or PCGS, have drawn bidding battles that push prices into the multiple thousands. A few rare wrong planchet examples have broken the $5,000 mark, making them some of the most valuable presidential dollar errors known. Part of what makes these coins so collectible is the sheer novelty of the presidential dollar series. The edge lettering, while introduced to give the coins a classical elegance and make room for larger designs, created a new category of errors that had never existed in U.S. coinage before. Collectors saw this as a chance to own modern mint mistakes that were truly unique. The John Quincy Adams issue, with its large Denver mintage and prominent errors, became a centerpiece in this movement. Stories of discovery also fuel the excitement. Many of these error coins were found not in collector channels but in everyday circulation. People receiving presidential dollars as change from banks or vending machines were surprised to notice coins without edge lettering or with strange doubled inscriptions. In some cases, individuals who didn't even realize they had something rare accidentally spent them, making their way into circulation and then into collector hands by sheer luck. The irony of the presidential dollar series is similar to that of the Susan B. Anthony dollar before it. Although the coins were produced with the hope of encouraging circulation, they were met with limited enthusiasm from the general public. Many people preferred paper dollars, and the coins ended up being stored in vaults or used in vending machines. Yet within the collecting community, these coins took on a second life as treasures of modern numismatics, especially in their error forms. The lesson here is powerful. What might look like an ordinary coin can in fact be a rare and valuable error if you know what to look for. The 2008 D. John Quincy Adams dollar is a perfect example. Missing edge lettering, doubled inscriptions, inverted varieties, off-center strikes, double strikes, wrong planchets, and clip planchets all elevate its value far beyond $1. Auction records consistently show that collectors are willing to pay hundreds, even thousands, for these mistakes the next time you encounter a presidential dollar. Especially a 2008 D. John Quincy Adams, take a moment to examine it carefully. Tilt it and look for the edge lettering. Does it look doubled, inverted, or missing? Check the portrait in reverse for signs of off-center strikes or doubling. Measure its size and weight if it looks unusual, as it could be a wrong planchet strike. That $1 coin in your pocket could turn out to be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is one of the most fascinating modern U.S. coins because it was America's first small-sized dollar coin and because it became surrounded with controversy, confusion, and eventually a wave of minting errors that now make certain examples worth far more than their face value. Most people who lived through the late 1970s remember how quickly the Susan B. Anthony dollar went from being hailed as a bold experiment to being criticized as one of the most unpopular coins ever made. But for collectors, the year 1979 is especially important not only because it was the first year of issue, but also because of the incredible number of errors and varieties that emerged, some of which have since commanded prices in the thousands at auction. To understand the story of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony coin, you need to picture what was happening at the U.S. Mint and in the country at the time. The Eisenhower dollar had been issued from 1971 through 1978, but the large size made it unpopular for everyday transactions. The Mint decided to shrink the dollar coin into a smaller, quarter-sized piece, hoping Americans would adopt it more readily. The design chosen was revolutionary in its own way, honoring women's rights activist Susan B. Anthony, the first real woman, rather than an allegorical female figure, ever depicted on a circulating U.S. coin. The obverse features her portrait, while the reverse shows an eagle landing on the moon, a design borrowed from the Eisenhower dollar, which in turn was based on the Apollo 11 mission insignia. The coin was clad in copper nickel, giving it a silvery look. However, the coin size and color caused endless confusion with the Washington quarter, and the public quickly rejected it. While people didn't want them in their pockets, collectors soon realized that the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar was a playground for varieties and errors. One of the most famous varieties is the 1979 P wide rim or near date variety. On these coins, the rim is thicker and the date appears closer to the edge of the coin compared to the more common narrow rim variety. This wasn't technically an error, but rather a deliberate modification to improve the coin's appearance. Still, the 1979 P wide rim is considered highly collectible, and high-grade examples can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. At auction, pristine MS-67 examples have sold for $3,000 or more, showing how a subtle difference in the die design could dramatically influence value. But beyond varieties, the 1979 series is rich in true minting errors, and that's where the real excitement comes in. Take, for instance, off-center strikes. These occur when the coin blank, or planchet, is not properly seated in the striking chamber, causing the design to appear partially missing and shifted toward one edge. On a Susan B. Anthony dollar, a dramatic off-center error can make the coin look almost alien, with Susan's portrait cut off and blank space filling part of the coin. Minor off-centers may sell for $100 to $200, but major off-centers, especially those where the date is still visible, can command $1,000 or more. That double strike errors are another thrilling discovery. These coins were struck more than once, either in the same position or slightly rotated, creating ghost-like images of Susan B. Anthony's portrait or the eagle on the reverse. These errors are spectacular to look at and can sell for $800 to $1,500 depending on the degree of doubling and the condition of the coin point. One of the most intriguing types of errors for the $1,979 is the wrong planchet strike. This happens when the Susan B. Anthony dollar design was accidentally struck on a blank mint for another coin, such as a Jefferson nickel, a Washington quarter, or even a foreign coin planchet. Imagine holding a Susan B. Anthony dollar design struck on a smaller nickel planchet. It would look undersized, miss part of the design, and weigh less than normal. Such errors are exceedingly rare, and when they appear at auction, they can bring in thousands of dollars. One example of a $1,979 struck on a quarter planchet sold for over $5,000, proving just how valuable these unusual mint mistakes can be. Clip planchet errors are another collectible category. These occur when a sheet of coin metal is punched incorrectly, causing the resulting blank to have a curved bite taken out of it. On a Susan B. Anthony dollar, a clip planchet error can be subtle or dramatic, but in all cases it makes the coin unique. Depending on the size and visibility of the clip, these can sell for $150 to $500, with larger and more dramatic clips commanding higher prices. Another error worth mentioning is the broad strike, which happens when the coin is struck without the collar die that normally holds the planchet in place, causing the coin to spread out wider than usual. A 1979 broad strike dollar can appear larger than normal and lack the usual rim detail, which makes it immediately noticeable. Collectors love these, and they often sell for $200 to $400 in mint state grades. There are also double denomination errors, extremely rare and valuable. These occur when a coin is first struck as one denomination and then mistakenly struck again with the dies of another denomination. For instance, a Susan B. Anthony dollar struck over a Jefferson nickel or a Washington quarter would display design elements from both coins, creating a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. Such coins are incredibly rare and can sell for $10,000 or more, depending on the clarity of the overlapping designs. Auction history shows just how popular the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar errors have become. At major auction houses like Heritage and Stack's Bowers, collectors have battled over high-grade wide-rim varieties and dramatic error coins. A 1979 P wide-rim dollar graded MS-67 once sold for $3,840, while off-center and double strike errors routinely bring in over $1,000 each. Wrong planchet errors, especially those involving foreign planchets, have shattered expectations by reaching $5,000 to $7,000. That the appeal of these coins lies in their blend of modern history and rarity. The Susan B. Anthony dollar may have been unpopular in circulation, but it occupies a unique place in American numismatics as the first coin to feature a real woman in its design. That historical significance, combined with the sheer variety of errors, has turned the 1,979 issues into treasures for collectors. Stories circulate of collectors finding wide-rim examples in circulation years after they were issued, or of people discovering off-center strikes in old coin jars. These stories add to the thrill because they show that treasures can still be found in ordinary places. For someone who happens upon a 1979 Susan B. Anthony error, the discovery can transform a seemingly insignificant coin into one worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The irony is that while the public largely rejected the Susan B. Anthony dollar during its release, today it has achieved a kind of redemption in the collecting world. Error coins in particular stand as proof that even unpopular designs can hold immense value when things go wrong at the mint. Collectors who dismissed the coin decades ago now actively seek out its mistakes, driving prices higher at auction. The lesson here is simple. Never dismiss a coin based solely on its popularity in circulation. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, with its infamous unpopularity, is today a coin that collectors actively chase because of its rich field of varieties and errors. Auction records prove that these coins can be worth hundreds, thousands, and in some cases over $10,000. That makes it one of the most exciting modern issues to study, collect, and treasure. The next time you see a Susan B. Anthony dollar from 1979, don't overlook it. Check the rim. Does the date sit close to the edge, making it the valuable wide rim variety? Look for off-center strikes, double strikes, or unusual planchets. Examine the coin carefully, because what might look like an ordinary dollar at first glance could in fact be one of the most valuable modern mint errors in existence. The 2009 P. Sacagawea $1 coin is one of those pieces that on the surface seems modern, common, and often overlooked. Yet when you peel back the layers of its story, and especially when you consider its errors, you realize that it holds the kind of intrigue that collectors dream about. This coin came at a fascinating time in U.S. numismatic history, during the release of the Native American $1 coin program. And while many of these pieces went directly into collectors' hands rather than circulating heavily, the 2009 P. Sacagawea dollar quickly became famous for one thing: mint errors that can turn a coin with a face value of just $1 into something worth hundreds or even thousands at auction. The Sacagawea dollar was first introduced in 2000 to replace the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which had been unpopular due to its similarity in size and color to the quarter. The Sacagawea design, with its golden color and smooth edges, was meant to be more distinctive. The obverse features Glenna Goodacre's portrait of Sacagawea, the young Shoshone woman who guided Lewis and Clark, carrying her infant son Jean-Baptiste on her back. The reverse in 2009 marked the beginning of the Native American $1 coin program, with changing reverse designs each year honoring Native American contributions. For 2009, the reverse design depicts a Native American woman planting seeds in a field of corn, beans, and squash, the three crops known as the Three Sisters. The inscriptions United States of America and $1 frame the design. Now, the year 2009 was important because it launched this new reverse series, and because the Philadelphia Mint was tasked with producing millions of these golden dollars. But like every coin ever struck, errors slipped through the presses, and those mistakes are what fascinate collectors today. What kind of errors? Off-center strikes, multiple strike errors, missing edge lettering, wrong planchet errors, and double dies. Each one more dramatic and valuable than the last point. One of the most talked about 2009 P. Sacagawea dollar errors is the missing edge lettering. Normally, these coins carry inscriptions around the edge reading E pluribus unum, the year of mintage, and the mint mark. But some coins escape the minting process without receiving their edge inscriptions, leaving a smooth, plain edge. To the casual observer, this might seem insignificant, but for collectors, it represents a major deviation from the intended design. These missing edge lettering errors have sold at auction for anywhere from $500 to $1,200, depending on condition. A gem-quality, uncirculated example with a missing edge text has even been reported to sell for over $1,500, making it one of the standout errors of the series. That off-center strikes are another exciting category. These occur when the coin blank is misaligned during striking, causing the design to appear shifted toward one side. Slight off-centers aren't worth much, but dramatic off-centers where 40% or more of the design is missing, and yet the date remains visible, could be worth $800 to $1,500 at auction. A 2009 P. Sacagawea dollar struck 60% off-center with a bold date, once sold for nearly $1,000, an incredible price for a coin so modern. Then there are multiple strike errors where the coin is struck more than once in the press, creating a doubled or even tripled image. These are extremely dramatic visually, with Sacagawea's portrait appearing doubled or the planting design on the reverse showing ghost-like repetition. Collectors pay handsomely for these, often upwards of $1,200 for strong examples, especially when in mint state condition. Wrong planchet errors are among the rarest and most thrilling. This happens when a Sacagawea dollar design is accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, such as a quarter or nickel. Imagine holding a dollar coin that weighs like a quarter and carries the golden Sacagawea design faintly pressed into the smaller blank. Such mistakes are so rare that when they appear, they can sell for $2,000 to $3,000 or more, depending on the exact planchet involved. One reported example of a Sacagawea dollar struck on a manganese brass blank intended for a foreign coin sold at auction for well over $2,500. Double die errors also attract a lot of attention, especially among collectors who love the subtler side of minting mistakes. On some 2009 P Sacagawea dollars, doubling can be seen in the inscriptions on the obverse or reverse, letters like Liberty or United States of America showing clear doubling under magnification. These double die errors range in value depending on strength, but sharp examples can reach $400 to $600, and in rare cases where the doubling is dramatic, they fetch close to $1,000. Broad strike errors are also notable. Without the collar to hold the planchet in place during striking, the coin spreads out, losing its defined edge. On a 2009 P Sacagawea dollar, this creates a wider than usual golden coin with no reading or edge lettering, making it instantly eye-catching. Broad strikes in mint state condition often sell for $300 to $600, with particularly bold examples going for more. Auction records make it clear just how valuable these errors can be. At a Heritage Auctions event, a 2009 P Sacagawea dollar missing edge lettering sold for nearly $1,200. Another example, a multiple strike error in MS-66, brought in over $1,300. Perhaps most stunning, a wrong planchet strike from 2009 sold for over $2,500, cementing its place as one of the premier modern errors. These results show us that collectors are eager to pay serious money for modern coins when they come with dramatic mistakes. It's also worth noting that 2009 was a low mintage year for the dollar coin series compared to earlier Sacagawea dollars. The Philadelphia Mint produced about 39 million coins, far fewer than the hundreds of millions struck in the early 2000s. This relative scarcity means that error coins from 2009 are less common than from other years, making them more desirable. Collectors know that finding a 2009 P Sacagawea error is far less likely than, say, a 2000 P Cheerios dollar or a 2000 P Wounded Eagle variety. But what's especially engaging about these coins is the thrill of discovery. Many 2009 P Sacagawea dollars were released directly to collectors through rolls and bags, meaning that errors could be found by anyone who purchased directly from the mint that year. Stories circulate of lucky buyers opening a fresh roll from the U.S. Mint and finding a missing edge lettering error staring back at them, a discovery worth hundreds of times more than face value. That's the kind of story that makes collecting so thrilling, because it shows that treasures can still be found in modern coins. Even today, error specialists continue to search rolls, bags, and even secondary markets for overlooked 2009 P Sacagawea dollar errors. With so many people dismissing modern golden dollars as unimportant, opportunities still exist for sharp-eyed collectors to spot errors in coin shows, flea markets, and even online auctions where sellers don't realize what they have. That's why knowledge is power in coin collecting. Those who know what to look for can turn a simple $1 coin into a prize worth thousands. When we think about the future of these coins, their value seems almost certain to rise. As more collectors enter the hobby, and as error collecting becomes increasingly popular, the demand for dramatic modern errors is only going to grow. Imagine a collector decades from now looking back at 2009 and recognizing it as a pivotal year in the Native American $1 coin program. Having a rare error from that year will make the coin not only historically significant, but also financially rewarding. The lesson here is clear. Never overlook modern coins, and never assume that a golden dollar is just worth face value. The 2009 P Sacagawea dollar, with its fascinating array of errors, from missing edge lettering to off-center strikes to wrong planchet rarities, proves that value can hide in plain sight. And with auction results showing coins selling for $500, $1,200, even $2,500, the rewards for careful searching can be extraordinary. The next time you come across a Sacagawea dollar, especially one from 2009, take a closer look. Run your fingers along the edge. Does it have lettering, or is it smooth? Hold it up to the light. Does the design seem perfectly centered or shifted to one side? Look for doubling in the inscriptions. Check the weight. Examine every detail. Because if you're lucky enough to find one of these error coins, you may just be holding a treasure that connects history, artistry, and the thrill of discovery, all packed into a golden dollar coin.